Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Griftlands, Cornish-Knight. If you were expecting to see some Arctic Desolation, unfortunately with the multiple updates that have been happening recently, I keep on losing all of my save files. I can't manage to return to an earlier save format. I do not know why. I've discussed it with the developers. I just can't seem to get it to work, unfortunately, which isn't great. So for the time being, until I can sort of get it fixed, I am going to play some Griftlands and some other stuff. I also, the Battle Brothers update, the new DLC is coming out next month on the 14th, not this month on the 14th as I expected. It was a month later. So let's play. Now we completed the story of Sal. That's interesting. We're going to play now the story of Rook, the spy, which plays very differently. So we're going to play that. He has a very different deck style. For example, he runs off basically a coin system, which is that cards work differently depending on what symbols he heads or snails. Which it's a bit more of a riskier, more challenging deck to play. So we will see what happens. I haven't played a lot with him. I don't know what to expect, but I thought it'd be an interesting thing to go into.
You bear the brunt of the world when you wear a soldier's uniform. So you turned yours in and left the Admiralty. But even out of uniform, your name still carries the weight of your medals. Captain Rook, the veteran, the hero, the saboteur, the spy. These days you freelance, and you're on your way to a job in Grout Bog, where the Spark Barons plumb the ruins looking for forgotten treasures. The bugs there are hard to spot, but they bleed you dry if you let them. Seems like you'll fit in just fine.
The land around Grout Bog squelches with mud, hungry for legs as well as the boot. The only road leads to a gate flanked by armed security that a Spark Baron and guard steps out into a path as you approach. Technocratic faction who retrofit new technology from ancient ruins, much to the cult's displeasure. We had dealings with these guys in the last game. We aided a rebel who was basically opposing this faction. Stop right there. The bog is closed, especially to grifters like you, unless you pay our processing fee. Then maybe I could see considering your petition for entry. Be able to pay a bribe, which sucks. Let's convince him. He isn't good at his job. Forgive me for being skeptical of this fee. In fact, I like to speak to your supervisor. So he's going to punch us for 4 in the face. So let's get some stuff up. We'll improvise a card. Ooh, that's not good. Let's do that. We'll go with... Oh, we already had heads. That's stacked in our favour now. And we'll go that. Give a bit more defence. He stole one of our damage cards, which is not great. So we need to actually get some damage back. Okay. So let's first hit that. We've got vulnerable, which sucks. This is gonna hurt. Okay. Keeps stealing stuff from us. And he's gonna punch us for a ton of stuff as well. Great. And I don't actually have much damage. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about his diplomacy deck. We do not seem to have very many damage cards. Okay. So that gives us influence. Might grab this. Well, do you want to get your supervisor involved? Ha, just double the fee. But fine, Grifter, have it your way. But you better have some work papers, else the only thing I'm authorized to give you is the kick in the seat. Ask about. I've been on the road a long time, let me rest with these old bones a minute while I get my bearings. Ask about Grotbog. As you recall, Grotbog was once a prospectus dream and it seems very bureaucratic. You're kidding, it's been under Spark Baron regulation for about 20 years at least. A little piece of paradise away from the Admiralty and the cult. Paradise for whom? Well, the Barons, of course, not so much the contract labour. They have to dig up the tech, and the bog isn't a forgiving place. Between pitfalls and Grorkits, the deadly bog beast, most don't make it to the end of their terms. Sounds unpleasant. No kidding. The road out of here is right behind you, Grifter. Ask about the gate. So the gate is there to keep unlicensed rogues from plundering the dig sites? Sure, not that much would have the guts to try. The digs are for old tech from the Vagrant Age. The ancient era during which the planet was colonised by spacefarers. This is the thing I should also mention. In this setting, you're basically a colony world that has been like abandoned due to some kind of, it seems to come some kind of sort of dark age, and has sort of been left to fend for itself. And like it's been going for like hundreds of years. Half of it explodes, second it oxidizes. Only barons get to know how to dig it out safely and weaponize it. Got to profit somehow, but the gates may mostly here to keep labourers in. I see, slightly worrying. Ask about the Spark Barons. I assume the Spark Barons are the law of the land now. They're the ones paying everyone's bills, aren't they? Grotbog's operation manager is a former Admiralty officer, even so he knows a thing or two about authority. That would be Lion Fel-Enamon, yes, the Cradassi. Yeah, that's right, you heard of him? He and I are old friends, actually, though we were each 20 years younger when our friendship took root. Time will tell if that's how well that's weathered. If you say so, Grifter. Ask about the labour. What about the labourers then? I've heard whispers of some workers' rebellions rising up in Murder Bay. Yeah, it's rot, that's it. A real sickness. And it's spread to Grotbog. Half the workers are sneezed away from open revolt. So we don't need folks like you coming in and stirring up trouble. Then who should I avoid? That's the problem. They keep their cards close. Wily-like. The leader could even be a foreman, for all we know. Hand over your papers. No need for hostilities, friend. Here are my invitation. See for yourself if you like. You pull the signed work visa from the old king wallet and you carry for such purposes. Looks legit. Who exactly are you meant to report to? So this is where we choose a side, basically, early on. We're here to work for security. You receive a blacklist. Gain 1 damage for each name taken. Basically, take names, play this card against a new unique character, adds the name to the list. So every time we play this against a unique character, we get an additional damage, which is powerful. Or we could go, you're here to dig, receive a shovel. Apply 2 damage bonus for per empty cell, gain 2 defense per charge. Prevents attacks. Well, our Rook can store charges in his empty shells. Charges can be used for certain cards with additional effects. Let's go with you working for security. Do I look like a common labourer to you? I'm reporting to Lane Felmo directly. Felmo? No way, someone like you. His eyes glance down at the work visa again. This time he reads the fine print. I mean, of course you are, sir. You better hurry along. Felmo doesn't like to be kept waiting. You gain blacklist. I still got to search you though. Got anything to declare? You rummage through your backpack, sewing Falopla, the contents. You only got one thing worth declaring though. Upgrade negotiation card. None of these are particularly impressive. They're just basically consumable items. I'd rather just upgrade a negotiating card early. Choose a side of the coin and flip to that side. That does it twice. That destroys it. That increases it. That flattened evens the damage, which isn't great. That attacks 3 times, which is 6. That destroys. Prepare a card. Gain influence. That might be good. Gain 1 bonus damage. Attack this card twice. If we do that, this attacks twice with the thing that gives us 6. So that's something we can consider. Improve, improvise card, improvise plus card from your pool of special cards. This is the thing, I haven't played with this deck enough to know which is good and which is not. That's powerful. That's nice. Let's grab the improved armor to start off with. Ask about him. I mean, don't suppose you know what kind of work will have for me, right? How the hell should I know? The things are getting rough with the workers, though. They want more rights, better pay. Maybe FLMO wants you to work security and shut down the union before it starts. I see, that makes sense. And what if I would prefer to find other work? Well, Thermo expecting you wouldn't want to disappoint him, but there's always more work to be had in the bog. You could check in with the foreman named Calendra. She's not too strict, might take pity on you, on an old fogey like you. Charming. So I'm free to go? Yeah, whatever. Thank you, officer. It's been a pleasure. Don't try anything funny in there. You go through the gate, but you feel that Palo will miss you when you're gone. Alright, so this is the bog. So, we can either go to the Baron's headquarters or to the Labour office. I'm pretty sure you guys can tell at this point, without me having to tell you too much, that like which side these are. This is basically the rebellion side, this is basically the government side. We're going to go to the government. You work into the office. As you enter the office, looking building, you are stopped by an armed guard. Stay there, state your business, Grifter. So, Mircott, your papers. The official sort, my good soldier, nothing to fret about. You saw Mircott, your signed papers. He somehow studies them while still fixing you with a suspicious glare. This checks out. Very well. He steps aside. So, bodyguards, and this is the person we came here to meet. Fellow Mo is easy to recognise him, for the years have been a little too kind to him. You spot him lapping at a drink like a contented salamander. I see you've gone up in the world since the start, eh, Rookie? Rook, your scams, you finally made it. Figured you'd be able to move faster than that, even with that bum leg of yours. Docktown's a long way from here, Fellow Mo. And that's Captain Rook to you, even if we're both retired. I'll call you your Royal Highness if you can get the job done. Enough fiddle-faddling. Let's get to work so you can see what we're up against. You may know I haven't actually agreed to the job yet. You've hardly provided much information, just a slapdash cipher that any fool could decipher. the code. Didn't have the time for codes anymore, Captain. I've gone further than the Admiralty could ever have taken us. All the same, very well. I'll answer your questions. At least I could do. Ask about the contract. Last I heard from you, it was the Torio raids. The island nation from north of Havaria, frequently but not currently opposed to the Deltan Empire. It must have been 15 years ago. At the time, they told us you were killed in action, but we all knew better. I should hope so. When did you hear otherwise? After I joined the Barons, one of the citizens of Rentora mentioned they knew you. Well, knew your cover, but I've had recognised it anywhere. I said to my superiors, you want someone who can cut to the quick. You should recruit Rook. And how did that go over? Unfortunately, it was far easier to need a spy than it is to trust one. But times have changed, and you're being given a chance. Ask about the work. What service can I provide to the illustrious Spark Barons? If it's an active liaison with the Admiralty, I'm afraid I was dishonorably discharged. Oh, I heard the whole unit did. Are you familiar with the little movement called the Rise? They're the rebel group. It's out in the bread fields, isn't it? Labour disputes, something out of that cut. It's migrated. Some of the contractors have cottoned on to their scheme. I want this handled in a way that doesn't leave an indiscriminate body count. Define indiscriminate, please. Use your judgment. If someone needs to be put down, so be it. But we can't make a profit without labourers to do the work. So basically, he wants us to take care of the people organising the rebellion, but he doesn't want us to kill everyone in the rebellion. Ask about your authority. What sort of authority would I wield while I do this work? I beg your pardon, Captain. You have as much authority as I see fit to lend you, and for the moment that means just about none. It's nothing personal, of course. I still respect you tremendously. Yes, well, you never were one to pass up the opportunity. That's exactly right, Rook. I'm honoured you remember. Ask about the Rise. How dangerous are the Rise? They're murdering my financial reports, certainly, but the real threat to you is the bog itself. The bog? I've had hostile terrain training. Yes, you used to be the best, but with that leg of yours, no more, eh? Beasts and poisons prey on the flesh, contaminating the prey, and contaminates prey on the metalwork. That's not a part of you that won't find something in the bog unpleasant, and the Rise will use it against you for certain if you fail to be subtle. That is. Alright, yo. Let's do it then. You wouldn't have called me out here if it wasn't for something interesting. I take the job. Excellent. If there's anyone who can get to the bottom of this, it's you. I have a couple of things that need to be doing. So, let's see. Let's see, so that's 70 sales and a restoration of health or resolve, or this one is 70 sales and get a distant payment. We take that one. Now we see it to it that the barons dine like the Kradasi dynasties of old, but for the labourers we process some of the biomass extracted to produce. But for the labourers we process some of the biomass extracted byproducts into a nutritional paste. I'm surprised you haven't cracked under the strain of your jealousy. Please, Rook, I've tasted it myself, no worse than Admiralty field rations. It's calories and nutrients, exactly what's needed to keep the workers healthy. Unfortunately, the ingredients aren't satisfied. They've been causing chaos at the serving lines, and it's holding up meal breaks. Delay in operations jeopardizes the whole mission, as you well know. Rightio, let's take it. See the ruckus is quelled, so I can turn my brain power back to the bottom line, huh? As you like. Let's go. You step through the door and find a group of workers facing up against a solitary baron. You already got your rations, now take a walk. That wasn't enough, and you know it. How are we supposed to get a job done if we're half starved? Your robot isn't here to Your robot isn't here to protect you today, Baron. They pause as you enter, both looking at you expectantly. Talk to the lead worker, talk to the Spark Baron. Let's talk to the Spark Baron. The Baron gives you a sigh of relief if you see you. You're Thelmos man, right? My usual enforcers in the repair shop, so of course the local rebel are pushing their luck today. Let's see. Threaten Keybear to stop skimming food. Convince Keybear to compromise. Convince Keybear to pick you up, to back you up in a fight. Let's try and get you can convince both sides to accept the compromise. Look, they just want a little more to eat. Is that really such a problem? You could meet them halfway, couldn't you? Okay, so she's got to punt us in the face. Well, let's first put the name on the list. Get that up. And then we'll basically hit them for some more damage. Okay, so she's not stolen that from us, which is not great. Okay. But let's absorb that damage. And then we'll hit that, which brings that up, and then we'll punch this. They keep pilfering my cards. Okay. Let's play this. Get a bit of composure. Harden that up because I don't want the vulnerability. The problem is he's just pilfering my cards at the moment, which is really annoying. I'd rather just get this. 1 point of damage is not great. Okay, this is really becoming an issue. Okay. Armor up a bit. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we need to end this now before we choose from my health anymore or my resolve. Go negotiation card. That might be useful. What's this one do? Do max damage, gain 1 action. That might be a nice one to have, give me some more actions. I guess I could make half work, but only if they back down. Okay. Excuse me. You most talkative of the workers step forward. Our contract says we are supposed to get 2 square meals a day. This sloth isn't enough. The Baron's cutting our rations and expecting us to pay to make sure. Get him to compromise. I get it, you're hungry, you're doing hard work. You don't feel like the Barons are holding you up on your side. I can't promise you anything you're asking for, but what if I could get you a little more? Would you stand down then? Okay, so So if I create an argument, okay, that's good. That's good to know. So basically, every time I make an argument, he basically gets armor. So we've got to block. Get that. Add the name to the list. We get punched in the face. Diplomacy cards deal -1 damage with a max of 1 damage. Okay. That's not great. Let's see if we can prep a card. He's flustered, so his damage goes down. I was hoping for... We're going to take damage from that, which sucks, and there's nothing we can do about it. Okay. We've got a little bit of armor, so we ward off some of the damage. Okay. So he's going to punch us for some composer, so we can block that. And then we are going to hit for max damage. That's fine. Like, he's bone tired, so we can just finish him off really easily. There we go. Negotiation cards. Discard a card, gain dominance. Pair a card, paired card, paired, but this card costs 0. That might be useful. I haven't played with him very much, so this is all experimentation for me. Something is better than nothing. I listen to the offer. It's settled then, isn't it? I talked over Rook. I can give you all a bit more. We'll take that as a first step, but we're watching you. And I'm watching you. If so much as 1 spoon goes missing from this place, I'll spike your food with Floyd oil and give you all dementia. Or sorry, give you all diarrhea. You leave them to work out the finer points. Yeah, let's return. Brings you here, get paid. Trouble of the calf is over with. A calm situation is good for business. I knew I could count on you. You are paid 70 sills and you get a bonus of 30 sills. Alright, I have another job for you. Opportunity, all the play and no work. Battle card. Certain likes you get 81 sills and you get a add pre-orders. Ooh, this is nice. Felano wants you to scare off a Rise recruiter who's been sniffing around one of their work sites. 75 sills, plus we get an upgrade to our Battle of Cards, or Battle of Diplomacy deck. Very nice. Okay, we'll take this one. The Rise have been getting aggressive with their recruitment. Only some of the labourers are malcontents, but they work to sow dissent among the others, radicalising the workforce. One pamphleteer is being encouraging the workers to strike, if you can imagine. That must be a breach of contract, no? Oh, indeed. Distributing disruptive material is strictly against the rules, but rules mean nothing to these guys. To these savages, sorry. I'd like you to find the pamphleteer. You'll get further than we can without the Spark Baron's colours. See if you can keep their library to themselves, Accept. But try to avoid antagonising the labourers too much. That will just push them right into the Razor's arms. Oh, I suppose you want to request some supplies, but I'm afraid that's not on the table, friend. You're a contractor after all. Try the bartender over at the Last Stand. It's an unsavoury place of sorts, but it serves unsavoury sorts like you. Otherwise, I'm sure you'll find anything you need. You're always resourceful. Okay. That's the pub, and that's the mission. Let's try go to the pub and see what they have. The dusty old corridor approaches you as you enter. You're Aratia. I can read it across your shoulders. I was once. Aratsat, if I had to guess. Erosat, I had to guess. Compliment Pegament on his perception. They can take our youth, but they can't take our cunning. Oh, they would if they could, I'm sure. Alright, well met then. Enjoy your... Do you have your squadron coin? Can I see it? Not... Now that's quite personal. No, please, don't take offence. I'm a collector, you see. I have several coins of my own if you're up for a trade. I'm always here. I like the foot traffic. You decide you might be up for a trade, just find me. Pegment backs off, seeming content to give you your space. If there's an angle, you can't see it. Probably, if I know him... Yeah, we can basically switch out our basic coin for something else. So we could go with this one. Mud coin, apply to composer. That's an improvement. Draw a card, apply to composer. So basically it flips what happens. Heads and snails. Yeah, so for example, if we went with these two, it's basically just the opposite. Probably what I will do then is I'll probably take the mud coin. We'll take that. We can go to him. The bar is well known for your network, quite a speakeasy where folks like you can rest away from prying eyes. The clients keep their heads down, eats as you come in. If they're curious enough to study your face, they're clever enough to hide it. Hello, barkeep. My name's Rook, and I'm simply parched. The bartender inspects you carefully, nods once, and keeps the conversation nice and low. Word was I should expect you. I don't make a habit of helping out no more than I need to. Okay. Thank Hellbill. Thank you, barkeep. Your warm hospitality will keep me going today for certain. Hold on, I got something for you. Hellbill digs around under the bar and produces a lined case of unlicensed grafts. A graft, my fine friend? We've only just met. Call it a favour. Pick a reward. Okay. Whenever you shuffle your deck, deal 5 damage to a random enemy argument for negotiations. Your ally receives 2 power to start the battle. No, it's okay, but not great. Whenever you spend your last charge, draw a card. Got to grab the negotiation one. Very useful. I want to call it a fate. And if I wanted to call in further favours, I got drinks and I got eats. You want anything else other than that, you've got to have to talk to the jacks. A collection of free labourers. They have shops set up on the edge of the bog and the edge of the law, for that matter. But they are a cagey bunch, so you might have to prove yourself useful if yourself worth their business. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Well, I appreciate the information. I'm sure we'll speak soon again. Let's see what they have. We can buy a card, buy a drink. It'll cost us 30 sills. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. It's not great, but it does get our resolve back up. That's done. Okay, so we have that, we have the mission, and we have the black market. But that's where we're going to end it for today, folks. This is me, Cornish-Knight, and this is Rook, and in Griftlands. We shall see you all again next time. Goodbye.